Hey guys, I'm Django Fett, and I'm going to do a Star Wars comic book review of the series Dawn of the Jedi. As you can see, so I'm just going to do a review of Volume 1 and give my thoughts of it. So, Dawn of the Jedi is brought to us. It came out in 2012 and brought from the creators of, Quinlan Vos, of the Republic series. Pretty much the inventors of the Star Wars expanded universe, and they're great at it. They're the best at it. The writer is John Ostrander, and also written by Jan Duursema, and Jan Duursema does the penciling work as well. She does the penciling. They also gave us the Great Legacy series. The Republic series was really good. It wasn't the greatest thing ever. They didn't give us awesome Clone Wars stuff. I thought it was somebody else. If you see my other Clone Wars reviews, I gave Jan Duursema and John Ostrander credit in the Clone Wars series, but I think it was left to somebody else. I forget the person's name, and Brian Ching did the artwork as well, but I forget the writer's name. But anyway, they also gave us the awesome series, Legacy. It was like 50 issues long. Great series. And right after they finished it, they started a new series. And when I heard about it, I was like, it called Dawn of the Jedi. And it would be 50,000 years ago. And that sounded great. That sounded awesome, Be the first of the Star Wars universe. It'd be the very beginning of how the Jedi came to be, of how their galaxy came to be. And I was so pumped for that. But when it came out, the execution was not so good at all. I thought it was a colossal failure. You'll know what I mean when I go through everything. But Dawn of the Jedi is set 26,000 years ago, before Episode 4, A New Hope, the movie. And the series focuses on, I'm reading this off the Wikipedia, focuses on the Jedi Order, different from Jedi, I guess. A group of Force sensitives on the planet Tython, who are the predecessors to the Jedi Order. Aside from the first issue, Dawn of the Jedi is primarily set in the year 25,793 years before Yavin, or A New Hope. So the series initially came out in 2012, and I'll show you guys the issues as it goes on. And I was really pumped for this series, so I bought number 0. And basically, well, first I'll just take this out first. And you guys will know what I mean why I wrapped this all up. But here's number 0. Looks pretty cool, right? What's inside is pretty much how they show the technology and the different concept art and the people and shit like that. And there was a lot of crazy planet names and shit like that, and I couldn't keep track of it when I was reading the series. And they have the Jedi code in here. It sounds pretty cool, but all these planet names, and they mentioned in the series, I had no idea what the fuck they're talking about. I was confused, and the characters, but there was 0. It was $3.50. Yes, $3.50 for number 0, not $1 or $3 or $2 or $1. It was $3.50. $3.50. That's my first issue with this series. You know what? The whole series costs $3.50. Each issue is $3.50, even number 0. What the fuck's up with that? So I pretty much spent a total of $21 for this whole series. plus the tax would be like an extra, like, $1 or $2, so it's like $23, $22. Man, and number 0 doesn't even come into the volume at all. So those who want number 0 in the volume 1, they're saying fuck you, so you don't get it. So yeah, so here's the first cover, number 1. Let me open this shit up again. I have a lot of gripes with this series. They show you this really confusing timeline where, these people came out and, they showed everybody the true path of the Force or some shit like that. So I'm just going to go through the story. And they had a war of some kind. Yeah, that's great. Honestly, none of this is good. None of this is good. The only good thing about this series is the fact of the Rakatan Empire. The history behind them. And, I saw the Rakatan part, and they're basically on Tatooine. And these are the Sand People, who they would become the Sand People, these guys. And, they came to this world, Tatooine, and pretty much enslaved them all. And these people would become the Sand People. So it's right off the bat. This series has promise. Issue number 1 shows it. But the beginning of it showed the freaking timeline showed a really fast forward section of how these guys came out of nowhere and you don't give a shit about them, and oh yeah, that's great, The Sand People, the Rakatans came to be. You want to know more about the Rakatan Empire. The Jedi, however, it sounded cool on paper, but the Jedi just came out to be. You just really didn't care about them at all. So, number 1 had promise. Issue number 1 had promise. So this guy is basically sent into, just sent to find other planets so they can enslave. The Rakatan Empire they can enslave. So, right off the bat, this series sounds pretty cool. This guy's pretty badass. I think without, the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game, telling about the Rakatan Empire, none of this series could work. None of it could work at all. Just the fact that they used it is pretty cool. But that's the only redeeming part about the series, just the fact about the Rakatans. And in this series, you don't see much about the Rakatan Empire after issue 1 and 2. So, here's issue number 2. Have you guys noticed that these covers are not as amazing as previous covers in other series that John Ostrander and Jane Durisma have done? Have you guys noticed that? Jane Durisma has done. And now they show these characters, about these Jedi characters, you don't give a shit about. This girl, okay, so there's 3 characters. 3 characters you're supposed to care about, and you're supposed to be on their side. But the whole time, I was never on their side. Okay, here's another one. It's a Twilight girl right there. This one, yep, right there. And there should be a Sith guy. I have no idea what they're called. They're just called Sith. This guy right here. These 3 guys you're supposed to care about. These are the 3 main characters. You don't give 2 shits about. You don't give a crap about. These are the most predictable characters of all time. Most predictable characters. These are such bad, awful character development in this series. And these characters are awful. Awful. I didn't give a shit about any of these characters. Much less this guy. He would be in issue 4 and 5 and the rest of the series. But the rest of the people, None. I don't give a shit about. And that was this is the biggest issue. These characters fucking suck. Legacy, Legacy and Republic series with Kinlan Voss. These were pretty good characters. This one, they try to develop these characters so you can like them. You don't care about them. You don't want to care about them, okay? You just want to see these characters die, and you just don't give a shit about. So, yeah, nothing really happens. They go to this world. These three losers go to this world. See the loser pack right here. See, look at them. They go to this world, and out comes this badass guy. Yeah, he discovers this planet pretty quickly, this galaxy pretty quickly. So yeah, there's issue 3. So now issue 4. Here, let me open this shit up again. I'm sorry, I meant issue number 3. I went to issue number 2, now this is issue number 3. So, I don't know why, but I've noticed the artwork to be really lacking too. I don't know why, but this artwork looks... This is not Jane DeRisma. I don't believe this is Jane DeRisma's artwork. This looks a lot worse than previous works that she's done. I don't know, this coloring looks really bad too. I am not a fan of this coloring. The coloring looks really bad. The artwork looks really... I don't know, this artwork is... I'm not a fan of. I'm just not a fan of. I love Jane DeRisma. Jane DeRisma's artwork is fantastic. But this one just seems to be some of the worst that she's had. I don't know why. I'm just not a fan of this artwork. I just don't see anything. So they go to this planet. This guy survives. Gets out of the ship, and yeah, it was just a waste of money. Issue number 4. Let's look at this shit. Issue number 4. What the fuck is going on with this cover? What the fuck is going on with this fucking cover? So, does anything happen? No. No, fucking no. There's Jedi arguing with each other. Oh, they discover this cool lightning, this ball thing. Let's go touch that shit. 'Cause we're fucking Jedi. We can do anything. We're so awesome. We can touch balls of light. Yeah. There's like this storm going on, and it's dealing with this forest storm that's going on, and there's like lightning coming out, and the reason the storm is coming because this guy just came out of nowhere and is causing this madness because he's the dark side. Like the force is at odds, and there's like this dark side, but there's no light side or something. I don't know. I can't explain it. I really don't understand it at all. I read the series once or twice. I read the series twice, and I still don't get it. Nothing is happening. Nothing in this issue is happening. After 4 issues in, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Tries to develop these characters that you don't give a shit about, and yeah. So now the final issue. Yeah, this one of volume 1. I'm not liking these covers. I'm not liking these covers at all. This guy comes in and saves them, and now he's the only guy, these Force Hounds or whatever are the only guys that have lightsabers. They're called dark sabers or something. So they use dark side energy to activate these sabers. So the ending is a little bit better. they show visions like this. The Twilight bitch, she wants to touch minds with him, and she sees like this Rakatan Empire, and this device that infinitely produces their army and shit like that. And that's pretty cool. That vision. He's just like a slave to them, and he's just cannon fodder, but he's a force hound or something. He can use the force and shit. And in the end, the Jedi are assholes, and they send him to this planet called Bogon or something to reclaim a balance, because Jedi are assholes in this series. Absolute assholes. They don't even try to help him. They just say, yeah, go fuck yourself, go to this planet and stay in exile and shit like that. They don't even try to fucking help him. These Jedi are just complete assholes. They don't give a shit about anybody else but themselves, and they deserve to fall. I just want to see these guys fall. Okay, I want the Rakatan Empire just to come in and just destroy all those motherfuckers. So nothing really happens in this series. Absolutely nothing. It sets up nothing, and this is supposed to be the beginning of a series, and you give us fucking nothing. There is nothing in this series. There's nothing good about this series. I know this is supposed to be the beginning of a series, but so far I've read, there's nothing. There's nothing in this series that is worth, reading in the future. Volume 2 came out a while ago, and I'm still not interested. I've been reading a couple issues in, and still boring as shit. Volume 3 should be sounds really cool because it's the Force War, but it's cool with the Force War because it's with the Jedi and the Rakatans, and I want to see this big battle between these two forces. And it should be. I mean, Volume 2 I heard ends really good because it sets up the Rakatans trying to come in and want to take out this galaxy. So hopefully the Jedi learn from this shit and fall. And try to redeem themselves, becoming the Jedi that we know of now. But this is supposed to be the beginning of a series, and there's nothing fucking happens. Nothing happens. And is it worth reading Volume 2? Probably not. No. Mm-mm. But this is a freaking disappointment and absolute failure of a series. Volume 1. Volume 1 this is an absolute failure. Absolute failure. Bad writing, just a jumble of mess, and you have no idea what the fuck is happening. There's so much shit going on, you can't keep up with it. And you're supposed to know all this history about this mess. And the artwork is surprisingly bad too. I don't like this artwork at all. Coloring is awful coloring. I never noticed that stuff. I just noticed the writing and some of the colors every now and then. But this one's pretty noticeable, and it's just not Jane Durisma's best. It's just not Jane Durisma's best. And whoever did the colorings, Wes Ozayabo or whatever, some shit like that. Awful. Yeah, I mean. Awful characters. The only person I sort of cared about was this dude, and I wanted to see him kill all those 3 other Jedi, and those are the 3 Jedi I was supposed to care about too. What? How does that even make sense? I mean, just bad writing, artwork's lazy. Not so much lazy, but it's just kind of bad. It's not a good series, not a good Volume 1. So now, unfortunately, I have to give rating for Volume 1, which contains all these issues. So all these issues are contained in Volume 1, and so out of a 5 rating, I would have to give this series a 2 out of 5. This volume is an absolute failure. Awful story. I mean, awful comic book series so far. Volume 2 doesn't look exciting at all. I'm not anticipating it. I really don't give a shit. I still have to read it and do a review of that as well. Unfortunately, this is not how you begin a series. A series especially in a timeline as this. There's high expectations for you now after Legacy, and there's just after this, there's just none. No, I have no expectations for anything good about this series anymore. Man, I was so looking forward to the series too, and it just ended up really, really bad. Story's awful, artwork is awful, characters are abysmal, awful. Now, this is not the worst series ever. Now, if you want to talk about the worst Star Wars ever, I'll refer to Knight Errant by John Jackson Miller. I did not expect this to be really bad. I didn't even have any expectations for that series at all. But I definitely think that was the worst thing ever. The only thing that this series has going for it is the fact that the Rakatan Empire is in it, and there's going to be this build up to this war. If it didn't have it, this series would flop. It would be the worst thing ever. I mean, I'm not saying this is the worst thing ever, Knight Errant. I had high expectations for you, John Jackson Miller, and you fucking failed at that shit. You gave us a great Knights of the Old Republic series. Absolutely great series. I praise you for that. But Knight Errant was just a total flop. Awful. I don't know why you even created that in the first place. Awful series. But a 2 out of 5. This is just a bad series for Dawn of the Jedi. For Storm. And it's just not the way to go, man. It's just a terrible start to the series. Oh, man. So, I forgot to let you guys know that I will not do a spoiler review of Knights of the Old Republic. It's going to take way too long, and I just decided I'm just going to move on from there. I'm not going to do a spoiler review. I'm just going to do a Volume 2 review when it comes out December 16th, I think. So I'm just going to do a review of that when it comes out, and I'm just going to do a no spoiler review. So it'll be centered around everybody. I mean, it'll be a review friendly for everyone. Now, a spoiler review, I'm not going to do that. It's just going to take way too much time. I've just heard from feedback that, it's, people are not watching my videos because, it contains spoilers. So I'm just going to decide not to do spoilers just to help everybody out. Those guys who don't want to read the series and just don't want to have the spoilers coming in and just ruining it for them. So I'm just going to do no spoilers. But for this series, I had to spoil the shit out of it because it's awful. It's awful. So a 2 out of 5. This series is not worth reading, and it's a waste of money. I want to return the shit out of this series. I want to get my money back. This is a waste of money. I'm not made of money. I mean, this series, usually I spend like this amount of money on a series. I mean, what I don't get is now comic books. I thought all comic books were raising their prices to 50 cents. And then I saw the Star Wars series by Brian Wood, which is a fantastic series, way better than this garbage. And they raised it by 50 cents. $3 is a lot. I mean, it's a good amount as it is. You're adding a 50 cents. 50 cents to it. It's a big difference right there. If you buy 2 issues, instead of paying $6, you pay $7 this time. You pay an extra $1 for it, okay? I'm not made of fucking money, and most people aren't, okay? And those people are going to complain to me that, oh, it's not that much money. Why don't be bitching about that shit. Shut the fuck up, okay? Especially when you waste money on a bad series like this and you didn't enjoy anything from it. It's a waste of money. I'm going to sell this shit on eBay or Amazon and want to get my money fucking back, man. And these series are intact. I read it like once or twice. and done with the volumes. I'm not wasting a penny on this series ever again. I don't think you guys should too. I'm just gonna go to Barnes and Nobles and read that shit, okay? I'm not gonna waste my money and buy every single issue, and I'm just not gonna waste my money on these issues that I didn't get anything from out of. The Star Wars Brian Wood series is an awesome series. I recommend that than this shit all day, every day. Okay. Star Wars Volume 1, if you guys haven't seen my review of that, I'll put a link of it above and below. And you guys gotta check that out. That's a good series. Definitely check that out. I have Volume 1 reviewed, so check that out as well. This series, stay away from. I'm not gonna even do a comic book slideshow because these comic book covers are awful. They're awful covers. It's not even worth it, okay? I'm not gonna waste my time on that shit, okay? I love doing the comic book covers, but this time I'm not doing it because this is in a garbage volume. So yeah, I think that's about it. Please give me your thoughts of this review. Give me your thoughts of this series. You guys probably liked it. I did not like it at all. I thought it was a disappointment. And yeah, it was a heavy disappointment by these two. I trust they helped create this entire awesome expanded universe, and they failed with this volume already. It's not like them. It's not like them at all. So a 2 out of 5. Okay, that's my review. Okay, you guys probably give it higher, probably lower. I don't know. So just give me your score as well. Please like my video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel, Django Fett. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Get the shit out of my face! God damn it!